to elementary. I hope you're having a fabulous Monday wherever you were. So today's topic, the basement of shame. Why 40 years of just in case is keeping you stuck. Oh my goodness. Yep. Here we go. And in case you don't know who I am, my name is Jacqueline Watson and I'm your realtor from Sutton Group Tower in Toronto. And I help downsizers, empty nesters, and seniors ditch the overwhelm and move into their dream lifestyle with my Chic Moves signature process. I know, it's all good. But it's really, really good if you're looking to do any of that. I love doing that. But today's topic is a doozy. It's the basement, the dreaded basement. You know the one I'm talking about, where you actually can't park your car in the garage anymore because, well, the basement overflowed into the garage probably 15 years ago. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And I want to talk about this because it's so real. I know I'm making a joke about it, but really, grab your tea, coffee, water, juice, whatever it is, and let's get comfy. Let's talk about this just in case stuff that's actually keeping you stuck from the life you've been dreaming about. So what's happening right now all over the GTA is at 3 a.m., someone just like you is laying awake, phone glowing in the dark, Googling how to declutter when overwhelmed. And you know what Google tells them? Start small, just one drawer. Oh, perfect. Because you have got 40 years of life crammed into 2,500 square feet. One drawer is really going to move the needle, right? Wrong. Here's the truth bomb. Nobody wants to tell you. When you're overwhelmed just because you don't know how to declutter, you're overwhelmed because you're trying to make 47,000 individual decisions about stuff you stopped caring about and that stopped mattering to you more than a decade ago. So I want to paint this picture for you. Like I have this lovely couple that I was working with. They were decluttering. And 4 years later, they were still they were in this house. They wanted to be close to restaurants and, they wanted to walk to restaurants and they wanted to be in a one-level condo with no more shoveling and no mowing of the lawn. Except that getting there to downsize took them 4 years. Why? Because of the basement. And I get it. You've been in your house a long time and you don't realize how quickly stuff gathers. But I can remember this client saying to me, I don't even know anymore, Jacqueline. I'm too ashamed to look. So the basement of shame is what I call it. The basement of shame. And that's what I told her. The same thing I'm telling you now. That shame, it's not the stuff. It's about the story you're telling yourself about the stuff. So just in case stuff. Let's talk about that. Those little words, just in case we needed that extra blender. Just in case one of the kids want grandma's tea set. Just in case baby clothes come back in style. And just in case we host dinner parties for 24 people. When was the last time you hosted 24 people? Well, some of us do occasionally, but perhaps you haven't in a while. Here's what just in case really means. I'm scared of making the wrong decision. So I'm going to make no decision and let the stuff take me prisoner in my own house. So I know it sounds harsh, but I promise I'll tell it like it is, right? So, your basement doesn't need a lot. And let's get into it. So here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to flip the script. Instead of, what if I need this someday? We're going to ask, what is it costing me right now? That treadmill that became that clothes rack is costing you. The space you could use to do something you actually enjoy. Maybe it's taking a mental energy every time you walk past it. You feel guilty. The freedom that you wanted to move into that condo that actually has a gym that you could use. And probably you're spending an additional $50 to heat and cool the space you don't even use. So when you do the math, that kind of adds up. You take $50 and you add it into 10 years, per year, you multiply it into 12 months, and then you multiply it into, let's say you've had it for 10 years, that's $6,000, sorry. And that's $6,000 to store. guilt, right? You could have just got rid of something, or Anyhow, that's a long story. That's the math for you to do, right? But don't bother yourself doing the math, because that's not what we're here for. We're here to figure out how you're going to declutter and what you're going to do. And typically what I would tell you is, yeah, if you're looking to declutter your kitchen, yeah, one drawer, one cabinet, but we're talking a whole basement here that has things that you probably don't use. I'm going to tell you a story. I remember we wanted to finish our basement and make it usable space. And I mean, when we moved from one house into the other, I had boxes in the basement that I hadn't used, and anything that really didn't fit in the house went to die in the basement. But it was all good stuff, according to me. So then I went on a trip, and my husband was starting to on the basement. So when I came back, let's just say all the boxes were gone. And so I wasn't there, and I didn't have a chance to make a big fuss about it. The boxes were gone. And let me tell you, I didn't miss one thing. I did not miss one thing, because that was probably my spare stuff that I didn't even know I had in the first place. And it was already in the basement for a couple of years. So I probably already replaced what I needed, right? So you're sitting there thinking, okay, I get it, my basement's a problem, but where do I start? And that's a great question. I'm going to give you a framework that actually works, not any of this Pinterest nonsense or about labeling bins and all that. We're just going to break it down. So step one, the honest conversation, the one you've been avoiding. Before you touch a single box, you need to have the conversation, the one you've been dancing around. You have to agree. What are your goals? Write them down. Write them down so when you find them one day, you'll be like, oh, look, we wrote them down. And your goals are not the stuff. Your goals are not, I'm going to clean out the basement. That's not a goal. That's kind of a goal, but it's not really a goal. The goal is more like, I want to move into a maintenance-free space. Yes, I take it. You're paying for the maintenance, but you're not doing the maintenance. That's the difference. Or maybe the goal is, I want to move into a smaller one-level space, a smaller bungalow, and I want to spend winters in a warm climate. I do not want to, so maybe I want to be in a condo because I want to spend winters somewhere else where I can enjoy retirement. Maybe I want to go to, I don't know, somewhere warm, wherever the hell it is, warm. Whether it's a tropical country, Costa Rica, I don't know, wherever, somewhere. I mean, typically, if we're Canadian, we would say Florida, but who's going there these days? LOL. But anyways, so you see the difference. One is a chore. I want to clean out my basement. And the other one is a dream, right? I want to do this. And in order to do this other thing, you had to clean out the basement. And then number two is, I will say, forget the one closet at a time. Let's do this whole thing. So typically we would do keep, donate, trash when you were doing a smaller space. But because we're doing a whole large basement, I would say pile number one is, I love this and use this. Not might use it, not used to use it, but I love this and use this. And I already told you the story earlier about what my husband did when I went on a trip and how he cleaned out the basement. He followed this strategy. Pile number two is, I'm keeping this because of guilt or fear. And be honest with this stuff. You're keeping it because your Aunt Edna gave it to you, or because you spent $400 on it in 1992, and because you're scared you'll regret it. And pile number three is, I literally forgot this existed. So you forgot about it for 5 years, like I did with the boxes in the basement. So more than likely you didn't even need it for the next 5 years. You didn't need it for the first 5 years. You probably replaced what was in the box. And here's kind of the best part. You take pile 2 and 3 and you get rid of it. No ifs, ands, or buts. You get rid of it. And then I hear, and maybe you'll say, hey, Jacqueline, but what about, nope, it goes. That's it. But here is what you do next. The kids don't want it. I did a show 2 weeks ago, and it says the kids don't want your stuff. Brutally honest, the kids don't want your stuff. And this is a big one, right? So I'm going to rip the Band-Aid out. The kids don't want your china. They don't want your encyclopedias from 1974. They don't want any hockey trophies that perhaps they have earned. They don't want your wedding dress. They don't want dad's tools or dad's tool collection. And they don't want any dining room sets. They don't. And I know you're thinking, what about the heritage? It's family history. And here's what I've learned is stuff is not love. Stuff doesn't store your memories, right? And I think sometimes we get caught up on that, in that space, thinking that, oh, the stuff. But the stuff is just stuff. And if your kids want something, this is what you're going to do next, right? Yeah, I'm going to give you a to-do. So if your kids have, if there's something you think your kids really want, you text your kids right away, right on the spot, do it now and say, hey, honey, I'm downsizing. I have blah, 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 whatever it is. Do you want it? I don't need to know by, no. So just say, I need to know by whatever date. And make it like 2 weeks, right? And if you don't hear from them, and if I don't hear back from you, I'm donating it. That's all. Then in 2 weeks, you follow up and you donate it. No, are you sure text? No, I'll just hold on to it for a bit longer text. None of that. If they say no, if they don't respond, it goes. It goes. So in wrapping up, this is the decluttering lies no one tells you, right? I think people make it harder than it needs to be. You don't need to go through every box carefully unless you've stored money in those boxes. Most of the times, if the box is sealed from 1998, why are you even opening it? What's in it? Have you just put everything randomly into a box? So honestly, why bother? Put it in a truck, give it away. Number 2, the second lie is, oh, you should just do a garage sale. And let me tell you, garage sales are exhausting. I did one myself a while back. They're time consuming, they're exhausting, they're emotionally draining. And, at the end of the day, you make $300 on it and you feel all jazzed about it, but you've spent probably $1,800 in man hours. That time you'll never get back. So there's garage sale prep time. There's the weekend that you take all the stuff out. And if you have a rule that once it goes out, it doesn't come back in, then you got to load it in the car and then you got to take it somewhere and drop it off. And it's insane. It's insane. And, if you're a downsizer or a senior or any of those, why do you want to do all that? That's a lot of work. And the line number 3 is you do not have to do it all at once. And actually, when it comes down to basement, you do need to do it all at once. So when it comes into your garage and basement, you do need to tackle those big spaces all at once. This is not something that you're using in your home. It is part of your home, but I look at the basement as things go there to die. And those are the places you really, really have to tackle all at once and not this, So let me give you my timeline, the way we work it out if you were in a program with me, right? Week 1 is on this honest conversation. We set the goals. And week 2 to 3, it's when the kids come and claim whatever they want to claim, or it goes in the go pile. And then week 4 and 6, it's you hire the help, you tackle one zone at a time, you go through all of that. Week 7 and 8, you're going through the dispose, donate, declutter kind of. And then week 9, it's you celebrate your achievements. That's how it goes. And so 2 months versus 2 years or 4 years, it makes a big difference, right? The one thing I want to say to people is Every year that you continue to remain in the house where you feel the stairs feel like a mountain. Like I have this one client I'm going to tell you about that they lived in this house, and she told me, she goes, when we come down in the morning, I have to bring everything down with me because we don't go upstairs until the end of the day because we can't do the stairs multiple times in a day. And we don't even go to the basement. But they're paying to heat and maintain and do the lawn. So they can't do the lawn work. They have to pay someone. They can't shovel their driveway. They have to pay someone. They can't do any pool work. They have to pay someone. She's barely using 2 rooms in a house. And she says she can't even clean properly because she's so... and they haven't even been in the basement. So it's a lot, right? It's like you're just living in the house, maintaining this huge house, even though it's probably not the life you want to live. It's taking away from the life you want to live. Some of my clients who've downsized, they've actually picked up hobbies. They volunteer at women's shelters or different hospitals, the whole 9 yards. And, once you start to realize that there's freedom on the other side of this whole thing, I think sometimes we get so wrapped up with stuff, having stuff. And I feel the same way. Like your stuff kind of determines who you are, but it's not. And then sometimes you see some young kids who are more into the experiences and you think, yeah, like, why not? Those are the things you can, kind of take with you, like the memories, right? You can't take your stuff with you. You can't take it with you. And when you leave, this is the other thing that I see is that parents who pass away and their whole house is left behind for the kids to do this work. And the kids are busy to start with, right? So, look, I've been sharing my Chic Move signature guide for the last little while, and I've had a lot of people interested because this is kind of a hot topic that people really want to make changes and make a difference in their space, even if you are staying in your space. I have a lot of people who've told me, Jacqueline, I'm not moving yet. I'm not ready for that, but I really need to get started. And it's really important. So get in touch. Moving on. Yeah, so if you have any questions particularly about this space, I'd love to chat with you, this topic. I'd love to chat with you. So, feel free to reach out anytime. What's happening in the world of real estate? We have another interest rate announcement happening next week. I think Wednesdays are announcement days. So I think it's Wednesday of next week that you will find the interest rate announcement. Now, what are we seeing? Well, there is a bit of activity on the market. Not a lot, really. I mean, last month was really dead. Although I will say, while it says really dead, I think if you're strategically priced well, and if you're asking me, are properties selling in 3 days or a week? No, they're taking a bit longer. Although I did have a property sell in 2 days, which is amazing. But really, it comes down to strategy. It comes down to your listing strategy. It comes down to how your house looks, what kind of energy you put into it, and also how you price it. It makes a world of difference. Anyhow, if you want to know what's going on, I'm sending out actually another newsletter next end of this week or early next week. You'll get another newsletter. I sent out one earlier in January, but there's going to be another one coming out. So if you want to get on my newsletter, feel free to DM me, drop your email, of course, in order for me to send it. And I'll be happy to add you to my newsletter. So until next week, we will see you again. And if you have a topic that you think that people would benefit from and that you'd like me to do an episode on, I'd love to do it. And if you missed this, you can catch the replay anywhere you listen to podcasts, on Apple or Spotify or anywhere else that you listen to a podcast. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jacqueline Watson, and I'm a realtor with Sutton Group Tower in Toronto. Until next time, bye. Happy downsizing.